Siddharam everybody, and welcome to our first night of Lakshmi Gyaan Yagna. Tonight, coming from the Krsna Seva Ashram, located in Princestown here in Trinidad and Tobago, I wanted to read for you a little bit about this form called Lakshmi. Many people, Diwali is coming up, and they do Diwali or what they think is Diwali. Diwali has evolved into fireworks and sweets. It becomes a cooking day and not a prayerful day, a praying day. So we are going to engage these 3 nights to listen about Mother in this form, to bring out certain secrets, certain unknown facts, in an attempt to provide the individual, the listening audience, yourself, with the knowledge about this form of Lakshmi Mata, because of what she represents and the value she brings to the table for the person that is going through sickness, hardship, financial difficulty, whatever it is. When you have the knowledge, that knowledge, according to Gita, will be a raft that takes you across this sansara. For this reason, it is properly labeled 3 nights Lakshmi Gyaan Yagna. It is in praise of her. Its specific focus on Deepavali or Diwali, as we normally say. As we grow to learn, I want to at this point mention in Diwali there are 2. When you think about Diwali, there are 2 reasons we celebrate Diwali. 2, not 1, 2. In Trinidad, wherever you are, Gyaan, Suriname, North America, wherever you might be, we've seen the Lakshmi Murti and the lighting there representative of Mother. But we also hear Sri Ram is returning from Lanka. He's coming home. And because of that, the devotees of Avad, they lit the diyas to welcome him, to guide him like, the lights on the runway, guiding the plane safely land here. And the first thing I want to explain, that is so because in North India, we believe Lakshmi Mata has returned, and we're going to discuss that tonight. In South India, they have the belief of Sri Ram coming back, the luster, the joy. But prior to Sri Ram, Deepavali was related to Lakshmi Mata. Believe it. Tonight, as we will chant prayer, and we will go into the history of Lakshmi tonight. Tonight we read from Devi Bhagavad Puran, Book 9. This is chapter 39. Chapter 39, Devi Bhagavad Puran, Book 9. Or the 9 Khan, however you want to look at it. There are many people talk about Lakshmi Mata, they do Lakshmi Puja. But if I were to ask you, for example, in the week, Sunday to Saturday, what day are we supposed to worship? What day is set aside for Lakshmi Mata? Her vow, her prayer. There's a vow for Lakshmi Mata? I didn't know that. Baba, all I know in Mami have prayers, we used to grow up doing Saraswati, Lakshmi, Durga Puja. But I've never heard that there's austerities. Last night I was reading Gurupran for all those that were viewing on Facebook. And I made reference to chapter 17 in Gita. And he talks about how do you do sattvic austerities. Austerities of the mind, austerities of the mouth, and austerities of your body or your actions. How does it appear? How does it look? For those who caught that satsang, listen, pay attention. If you missed it, it's there on Facebook. Please follow. Tonight, we're going to talk, as we do our first night of our yagna, we're going to talk about Lakshmi. How does she come? Where does she come from? What are we talking about when they talk about churning this ocean and all that? What's the history behind it? In it, you will hear tonight, where does Lakshmi Mata stay and where does she live? This is Devi Bhagavad that I'm getting this from. Tomorrow night when we enter into the Deepavali discourse, you will hear from Padmapura more about Lakshmi Mata. Her prayer, her worship, her devotion. What could we do? Could we do more to increase the barakat of our home? There are things that we could do. Deepavali is coming. So I wanted to read this now because for those members of the ashram, whether they're living in, close or far, we have our program set. We are going to be doing Puja. Vaibhava Lakshmi Puja is going to be done for 5 days, the 5 days of Diwali. From Dhanvantri Day, Yamraj Day, the Diwali Day itself, Govardhan Day, and the Bhaidwaj Day at the end, the 5 days of Diwali. We are doing Puja. If you would like to get involved, if you would like to know more about it, send me a message. Tonight, Sitaram, all of you that came in late as we are talking here now to get ready to start. Our topic tonight is this goddess, this lady. And we're going to hear more about the origin of our Deepavali discourse, where it comes from. And I want to inveigle you with these 3 nights to learn more about your mother. We live in a time, yesterday in Trinidad we had 365 new cases of people that are sick with COVID. Maybe it should be 5 people. If 5 people is not too much, as is, 1 person getting sick is too much. 1 person dying is too much. But we have a rapid spread. There are many people, because of their status, for whatever reason, they didn't take the vaccine, they can't get a job. People are hungry, people are jobless, they're going through a lot of strain. But Diwali is coming. Do you know how to use your prayer to help yourself, to help your situation? Tonight, we begin that. We begin the understanding, the molding of the Lakshmi knowledge that we have. We're going to hear more about it. Let's do invocation mantra before we enter our discourse. Please draw your hands. Everybody, please, let's do this correct. Wherever you are, sitting on your couch, viewing on your laptop, if you're on the job, wherever you might be. If you're looking on the repeat, our prayer still has value. Our prayer still has merit. Please put your hands together and let's pray. Hari Om Gajananam Bhotaganadi Sevitam Kapeta Jambo Parachar Bhakshritam Uma Sutam Shoka Vinashkarakam Namami Vigneshwar Parapankajam Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvata Sadhike Sharanye Trayambike Gauri Narayani Namostute. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Om. Kling Lakshmi Devyai Namah. Om Kling Lakshmi Devyai Namah. Om Kling Lakshmi Devyai Namah. Tonight we pray ardently as we do Ashtakam for Lakshmi Mata. Wherever you are, before we go into our discourse tonight, close your eyes, clasp your hands and pray. O Mahamaya, O abode of fortune and goodness, good things, worshipped by all the devatas, wielder of the Sank, the Chakra, the mace, O Mother Lakshmi, I bow to you. Namastasya astu Mahamaya Shri Prite Surapujite Shankha Chakra Gada Haste Mahalakshmi Namostute. Everybody, Namaste Garu Rudre Kula Surya Bhayankari Sarva Pap Hare Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute. Sarva Agya Sarva Bharare Sarva Dhushta Bhayankari Sarva Dokha Hare Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute. No one, give up everything. Terror to the wicked in this world. Remove our sorrows, Mother. Today we bow to you. Siddhi Buddhi Prade Devi Bhakti Mukti Pradayini Mantra Murti Sada Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute. Adyanta Rahite Devi Adya Shakti Maheshwari Yoga Jay Yoga Shambhute Mahalakshmi Namostute. Stula Shuksham Maharodra Mahashakti Mahodare Mahapapa Hare Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute. Padmasan Sthiti Devi Parabram Swarupini Parameshi Jagan Mata Mahalakshmi Namostute. Shwetam de Dhare Devi Nana Lankara Bhushiti Jagan Sthiti Jagan Mata Mahalakshmi Namostute. Everybody, whosoever with devotion reads this stotra of 8 verses attains success in whatever they endeavor into by the grace and the power of Mahalakshmi. Mahalakshmi Ashtakam Stotram Yapate Bhakti Mannaraha Avasiddhi Navapnoti Mahalakshmi Prasadita. Tonight let's bow to this dear. Shubham Karoti Kalyanam Argoyam Dan Asampadaha Shrubuddhi Vinashaya Depa Jyotir Namostute. I bow to you, I give you obeisances, you who radiate out of the diya, the lamp, that bestows all welfare, auspiciousness, health, and all types of riches, destroys that negativity, bad, etc. I bow to you, Lakshmi Mata. Prem Sabalo Shri Lakshmi Devyaya Ki Jai. Tonight, as I said before, we are reading about Mahalakshmi in Devi Bhagavad. Narad Muni is speaking to Sri Hari Vishnu, and he had just listened about the Katha of Savitri and Yamraj. When Savitri, this girl, her husband, had, Yamraj came and took the soul. For those that know it, but just to remind you what you know. He has listened to how Savitri had inquired, followed, and held on to Yamraj. She couldn't leave with the soul of her husband, and eventually gets back her husband by her knowledge, by her ability, by her wit. In doing it, Lord Vishnu makes some statements in that discourse. And he says that blessed is the person who worships Lakshmi Mata on a Tuesday. Blessed is the person who does the vrat of Lakshmi Mata. That woman will never go through hardships with marriage. She will never see troubles with her husband. So when all these, and there were more references. So when it was done, Narad Muni says, Prabhu, I have listened and I have heard about Savitri Devi, Yamraj, Satyavan, all of these characters. I understand that now. Now I wish to hear about Lakshmi. I want to know more about this Devi and where she originated from. I understand that Diwali is when we are churning the ocean, the devatas are churning the ocean, Lord Shiva is drinking the halal poison, but Mother Lakshmi comes out of one of the things that is being, coming from the water. Lakshmi Mother is coming back, and that luster, that prosperity comes back. So we celebrate this night for her. But where does she originate from? And tonight, before we go into it, I want you to pay attention to this. The other day, when we were doing Discourse, and we heard for the first time the history of the Gayatri mantra and Mother. We heard Savitri Mata. We heard some of these discourses and why certain things are there, the history, the truth. Where did it start? Not I hear somebody say and I hear this one say, but may I know for sure. Understand my objective. As a guru, I am trying to teach you the facts. Not for you to be left confused. Not for you to be left, I'm light in there, but I really don't know why. My objective is this. If a person from a different religion comes and says, brother, I see a light in there. I see you trying to light up your whole yard. You're cleaning your place. You're trying within your financial means to do something. Why? My mother used to do it. Do you know how many people long ago Diwali was a source of pride? People used to cut. Tell me if you remember this. Send me a message. If you have a pity, send me a pity. You remember a long time we used to plant the fig tree and we used to poke the bamboo and we used to want to make arch and decorations. The effort was there. Lakshmi is coming to my home. Before my time, I remember my mother used to tell me they used to put mud on the normal chain link wire fence that they had home. And they would put a little mud and sit the deer in the fence, so the entire fence is lit. In my village where I live, there are a lot of non-Hindu, non-Indian people. People that I grew up and I love with my heart. And they enjoy Diwali sometimes more than we own people. People from a different race. They look forward to the sweets, the parasad, the music, the scent of the coconut oil. They relish in it. Those memories are there. The village is together. Everybody's together as one, watching to see who decorate more, who looking nice, what to dress up. This is our culture. This is our Dharma. But when you look at it, those days are dwindling. Tonight, understand why you light the diya. Understand what are you trying to do. Why do you clean for this Lakshmi? What's the fuss about cleaning? As we will hear in the latter part of our discourse, Lord Vishnu says, where Lakshmi lives. And this is what we are attempting to do come Diwali. Please listen. Before we go into our discourse, let's join our hands. We're going to do Suryan for Devi Bhagavad. Think of Mother in your mind because you're listening to this Yagya to have the luster, to have the barakat. You want it, you need it, you have problems in your life, and tonight I'm talking to you and I'm telling you that it does work. Just like the baking powder we put in the flour, it does work, You don't see it, but it's working. The roti starts to swell, but you have to put it correctly. If you don't put it in the flour, you put it on the tower just so, it will never work. But it has the ability to work. These hands want to bless you. If only you would get it right and activate this Mother in your life. The blessing is the change you're looking for. It could come. It works for many people. Let's start to help you. Join your hands. Gauri Shambhu Gira Guru गोविंद गणपति गण सुमिरे व्यास वास करता देवी कथा प्रसंग जासु देहा मति मति विषय स्थिति जो जगमान मति ना लेकत जही रूप को माते प्रेरक सुखदान सकल निगम उत सन्मानी रीले का जगवान मातु भवानी के चरना नमो नमा सुख कान तरुणा चंद शीर धया माया कर अनुकुश अरूपाश मंद हस्य युक्त भक्त के कथाता सब दुख त्रास श्री शंकराचार्य आरु माता पिता शिरनाय देवी भागवत ग्रंथ के देवी भागवत ग्रंथ के भाषा लिखत बनाया या देवी सर्वभूतेषु लक्ष्मी रूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। प्रेम से बोलो श्री लक्ष्मी माता की जय। We enter into discourse without further ado. Time is going quickly. We enter Devi Bhagavat. Narad Muni wants to know, Mahavishnu, tell me about the goddess Lakshmi. Listen tonight carefully. Share the satsang. Leave me a comment. Come on, tell me Jai Shri Mahalakshmi Mata Jai. I wonder in my life, when you invite God into your life, when you invite God, when you open the doors, don't we physically open the door at Sunday hour and say, Mother, please come in. This is how a Hindu prays. Do you open your heart? Do you open your mind that there's a possibility? Just listen to my words. There's a possibility that Lakshmi Mata could make a difference. Suppose I do Lakshmi Puja, but I don't believe that Lakshmi will help in fighting for maintenance. I have a court matter. Me and this guy don't get along anymore. And it is such a vicious fight. We in the court and they keep putting off the hearing for maintenance. Lakshmi Mata, please help me. I need help, Mother. Please tonight listen where she comes from. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita Namastasye Namo Namah. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Kandha Pujita Sanyapi Kinvuta Kinvapura Tadagunnotva Kiratanaham Mahavarda Veda Vida. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita Shrishta Radha Pura Brahman Krishnasya Paramatmanah Devi Vaman Sangbhutam Bhavabhoyam Rasamandale. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita Namastasye, 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 Namo Namah. Shri Lakshmi Mata ki Jai. Prabhu, please tell me about Lakshmi Mata. Oh Prabhu, you are the chief knower of the Vedas. Tell me about her nature. Tell me about her history. Who was she first worshipped by? What is her mantra? What is her stotra? What is her glory? What's the benefit of doing her worship? Sri Hari Vishnu, please listen tonight. He starts. In olden times, in the beginning of the Prakriti creation, before there was man, woman, animal, stones, before there were planets, there stood Krishna Bhagwan, the supreme form. And from in the Ras Mandalam, as the energies were dancing, as Devi in that unseen form is spinning, the atomic energies turning, twirling in front of him, as the creation is getting ready to let loose, the expansion is about to happen. She looked, the energy from his body separated into two. And from the left side came a very beautiful, very dark colored, young girl, 12 years old. Into her youth, the beauty of her face shone like the moon was standing next to it. And by the will of Krishna, she divided her body again, very quickly. That some people might say this is proof of mitosis, of the cellular expansion, dividing, asexual separation here. But if you go down that road and you're thinking about the cell by itself, no male, no female being separated, then you are missing the concept of who Lord Vishnu is. He is everything. No male, no female, that inherent. When you're listening to bhajan and you hear the word Antaryami, Antaryami in given Bhagavad means the one who lives inside of everything. The molecules, the atoms that constitute animate, inanimate, that is Mahavishnu, the one who is called Antaryami. This Devi now separated herself again. Listen, let's hear what this sloka says. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Radha tu dhavye vara Masdve bhujaye chat Paratam Parama Mahalakshmischa Tatpyascha Chakamevaha. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. In the secret of Mahavishnu alone, there was no one else. There's nothing, there's no location, there's no element, there's no water, there's nobody. This little girl is separated into two. From the right half comes Radhika Devi or Radha Mata, and from the left hand side comes Mahalakshmi. Radha immediately is drawn and she goes to the two-handed form Krishna, becoming his eternal consort. And that Mahalakshmi wants the higher form, unmanifested form. Chatur, Bhuj, Rup, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, the four-handed form. Radha came out of the right-hand side and wanted Krishna. So Krishna now divides himself again into two parts. The two-handed form of how we know Lord Krishna to look is on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side of his body, now separated, comes the four-handed form of Mahavishnu. The two-handed form Krishna takes Lakshmi Mata and gives her to that Lord Vishnu, and he says, may you remain with her as Radha is going to remain with me. Lakshmi looks over the entire universe with her cooling, quiet, calm eyes. And for that reason, because of her reach, because of her vision, her drishti, because of her power, she is called Mahalakshmi. And for that reason, the Lord of Radha in the two-handed form, and the Lord of Lakshmi is the four-handed form. Radha is the aprakriti sattva, or the natural sattva gun, eliminating attributes, surrounded by the gopas and the gopis, and the four-handed Purusha, on the other hand, takes Padma Devi, Lakshmi Mata, to Vaikunth, as she now is in charge to help the female force. If Lord Vishnu is the sustainer, we talk about the creator, the preserver or sustainer, and then the destruction, the destructor, the destroyer, Lord Shiva, then she becomes the assistant. She is the female preserver. The two-handed form Krishna and the four-handed form Hari Narayan, equal in all respects. Lakshmi became many by her yogic powers. Listen tonight to her various forms. During the 5 days of Lakshmi, we are focusing on the Vaibhava Lakshmi, that powerful form that people need right now. That form is the form that we are going to get grace, health, help, peace in our life. Because of COVID restrictions, people are trapped in a marital situation where there's kach and argument, and people want to pull out their hair. People who are accustomed might go for little holidays. They might go and sit in the bar and relax themselves, to be quite straightforward and honest, and now trapped in a home, and there's a lot of domestic violence. So if you're looking on tonight and you want peace in your home, believe me, there's a way. Listen and you learn. Equal in all areas, but she put herself in different places. She remained in her full form. In Vaikunth, Mahalakshmi is the full form, pure sattvic sattva gun, endowed with all fortune, prosperity, and the ability to bless somebody with that goodness, good prosperity, wealth, etc. She is the crest of womankind. As far as loving a person's husband, she gives you the ability. What are they talking about? For every lady looking on here tonight, to explain this one line: you were once a girl, living a carefree life in your father's house, going to class, doing your chores, whatever. And if somebody robbed you of your slice of cake, you know how you reacted. Fast forward till today. When you have become a wife and you have been transformed now, you have become a mother. If you don't get that cake, tell me the truth. Did Chirenga eat? He eat a piece? That's alright. He eat it. And make sure he get peace. Where does that sensation, where do you, I went to school to learn about maths. I go to school to learn about science. I go to learn by Guruji about how to hold hijab mala the correct way, meaning. I go and I look on YouTube when it was lockdown and COVID to learn how to make biryani and different types of things while me and Priya Mata was home. So somebody has to teach. In the art of bhakti, in the art of that act of devotion, it has to come from somewhere. The Guru is the only thing that will ignite that fire inside you. Think of Shabri Mata, for example. I wait, Padma Sevanam, I wait on the feet of God. I maintain his mandir, but it started by the words of the Guru. Somebody has to teach you, to motivate you to sing. Somebody has to teach you how to make the prasad that you would one day offer in the puja. Somebody is going to teach you how to fix the plumbing so that you can offer your services in Seva. It has to start where somebody is lighting like a match inside of you. And then you're going to go. And when you do it, there's going to be change. There's going to be happiness, joy. You feel good when you do your puja. Have you ever entertained or felt that? When I give of my sweat, when I sweat to help somebody, when I give charity, when I do it the correct way, I feel something inside of me. I cannot explain it, Baba. And then 1, 2, 3, what I was praying for, things start to change. Listen to the role of your Lakshmi. Sri Hari Vishnu says, the person who gives the wife the ability to love that husband with all his flaws, with all that he has done, she still loves him. A faithful wife loves him. The dutiful wife loves him. How? You know, I will always tell everybody, you don't know somebody until you live with them. Until you see the good, the bad, and the ugly side. And in the case of men, and I'll point my finger at myself first, the stink side, the gross side. And as you all know, a husband will be gross. I can't believe some of the things he does do bad. And still I love him. You explain that for me. How do you forgive and you stick it out? Now there are limits to everything. There are limits. And not everybody should stick it out. I'll phrase it like that. Somebody's abusing you, somebody's threatening you, somebody's trying to damage you or your children. You feel unsafe. That's not the place to be, I agree. Some people really need counseling. Some people really need a psychologist or a therapist or medication. There are people. But the normal, young marriage, we have little catch, we have little differences of opinion. We're going to watch this station or we're going to watch that station. We're fighting for the TV control. Or, like in my marriage, we're fighting for the temperature and the air condition. That was a big adjustment. I'm accustomed with the room very cool. Maybe it's the size. I want to feel cool. And Mommy Baba in those days, she was a very small, meager little girl. And the slightest air condition blow and she's trembling. So now she wants to go, when I put it on 18, she wants to put it on 25. Lakshmi Mata somehow gives this lady a kind of love inside. To love this man that is so, what is the old saying? Your husband is your first child. For the elders looking on tonight, is that true? Childish. And I'm guilty. I'm guilty of it, I'll admit that. If Mommy Baba doing anything, she cooking body, she doing she chores, we're doing you. You know, like when little children, they're looking for mommy, I want milk. Husband have that. Another night we'll explain why. But what gives the lady the patience? Look at Lakshmi Mata. Where does she sit? Does she sit on a big throne? She sits on a flower. She's delicate like the petals of this flower. Where does she sit by her husband? Poor thing. She's massaging the feet every day. Dutifully. She's playing with his foot to help him. Lakshmi Mata is the one who gives the ability to love the husband. Another example of that. Pregnant women, time to make the baby. I once saw this, I was traveling and I was abroad and I saw the wife, same prayers with she, giving she thing to drink, was the shaligram water and so on, blessed water, so that the baby would come. The baby was taking too long and they were afraid that, this child, something go wrong, long story short. So we given she the water and she watched the husband, that kind of look. The ladies all know what I'm talking about. Have you ever watched the husband like that? Husbands always get it. Don't feel Baba, don't get away, Baba, the gate. It has caused trouble to get it away. Me innocent. We stand up there and we doing the prayers and Mama Ganchi will be alright, don't worry, everything will be, and the pain will hit. And she watched the husband and she said, if you ever touch me again, I will kill you. You caused me to be in this pain. Partly when we're doing the wedding, for people who get married, that is why we just do the Hawan with the sweet rice called the Vijaya Homa or the Vijaya Hawan. That is happening when the girl leave from the let me say the western side of the lady and she come on the eastern side. and she sits next to the husband, not in the wife position yet. And because he's the person going to cause the pain, the trouble for the child to come, it must have a delivery in most cases, natural cases. And 2 years later, 3 years later, that anger was gone. And number 2 baby coming home. And they came lovingly, happily. You ever see that? With the hatred. If I take a knife and I stick it in somebody's belly, so you're going to come back for me to stab you again. For the lady who has a C-section or cesarean cut, think what I see. If I chuck my finger in this fire tonight, ow! If I come back and I chuck the finger in the fire, Pundit, you crazy. Pundit, you mad. Pundit, something wrong with you. What about you? You went and you get the first cut, pain, trouble. And then you and husband make up, God bless you and bless your marriage. Second baby come in. But the love for your husband didn't go on a normal circumstance. It's actually a pride, a love. We are parents. We are parents again, boy. What we can call this one? What we can name this one? Think about that. The love. Lakshmi Mata lives, She lives. She's there. It's just, do you realize she's there? She is called Swarga Lakshmi in the heavens. Naga Lakshmi, where serpents live in the form called Nagas, or in the nether regions, in Patal. She is Raj Lakshmi. Pay attention to this one, because we'll hear about it again just now. Raj Lakshmi. She is the one that makes the king in Hinduism when we are blessing or anointing a politician. Or, let's say in these times, a king that had a crown on his head. Raj Lakshmi is the form that the Bij mantras, Baba, I want to win the election. Does it have mantras like that? Yes, it does. It has mantras for every form of Lakshmi Mata, depending on what you are facing, what you are fighting. Have you ever seen somebody talk and you're in so raptures, and they're talking craziness, but I still love them. And they're doing stupidness, but I still have to support them. That sound familiar? There's prayers that give you that. Raj Lakshmi. She is the kingmaker. Griha Lakshmi. She is the one who makes a home from a house, from a physical concrete or board structure. She makes it warm, welcoming. You could sleep in the night. Ladies, nothing are touching you. Nothing inauspicious is happening. Fire, dog, babies dying, miscarriage, etc. Those things don't happen in a home. But in a house, understand the difference, in a cold, callous place where there is no divinity, you are open to attacks of bandit, you are open to attacks of roof blowing off, you are open to attacks of spiritual nature. There's no Lakshmi there, so your food runs out. Griha Lakshmi. So there's a way you mop out your home with certain things. Certain type of mantras are jagawed on Diwali day, to maintain the auspiciousness of your home, to guard your home, and to guard what? The Lakshmi in your home. You'll hear more about that. Listen, pay attention. She resides in the houses of the household and gives them prosperity, auspiciousness, leading to wellness, welfare, and well-being. She is the lady in charge of progeny, children. She is Surabhi Lakshmi, the one who is in charge of the cow. This is why when you bow to the cow or you feed the cow, Gau Mata, this is Lakshmi in a different form. She brings that blessing. Have you ever seen Gaja Lakshmi? Gaja Lakshmi, you will see her with elephants. The elephant is like this, shooting water in the back, and mother is sitting like this here. We'll hear about that just now. Gaja Lakshmi. Dakshina Lakshmi. When I give charity, more you give, believe it works, more will come to you, more you will get to keep, more you will overcome, more you will be able to save. That is how you purify the wealth. Think about it, what Baba talking about. Let's say I got paid today and it's $20. But this $20 money is an unclean thing. It could have come from ransom in a kidnapping case. It could have come from a prostitute. It could have come from his killing and selling of cow, beef, whatever. And now I have this money. I want to purify this money. If it is at $20, take 25 cents, take $1 and give it in charity. This is why long ago, when people got their salary, they said, take mine, you go hold something. I'm going to buy something by the parlor and share it for somebody. I'm going to put a bottle of oil in the temple. This is how you purify your wealth, and it is a method to keep this Dakshina Lakshmi with you. She is the daughter of the Milky Ocean. For this reason she is called Padmini. Do you know anybody with that wonderful, beautiful name? She's the luster, she's the beauty of the ornaments. When you see for wedding and they're bringing the gold and they're saying their prayers, Lakshmi Mata sits there in the glitter. This is why we shine the Tarya. Well, one of the reasons. The second reason is for the electrical conductivity. We shine the Tarya and the Bharata and the Lota. Those things represents Lakshmi and not Al-Lakshmi. Fruits, water that is clean, goodly politicians, women with chastity, women with modesty, women that are not advertising their fruits that God gave them. Everybody understand what I just said? In this way, she is worshipped by the gifting of grains, jars full with dahi, milk stuff, everything you know already. You know about Lakshmi Puja more than me. Who worshipped her first, Narad Muni? I worshipped her first. When she came home with me, I know there are some people that say a husband cannot bow. Hear this one. This is a question. This is a question. And I want you to send me a message. Tell me what you think tonight. A man cannot bow to his wife. A wife have to bow to her husband. Lord Vishnu says, when my wife came home, the first thing I did her worship. And I bowed to her because of what she represented, who she represented. And Mahavishnu touched the foot of Lakshmi Mata like this, to gain the prosperity, to gain the luster, to gain the energy, so that whenever he had to wage battle, going to war, his Leela, Ram, Krishna, Parshuram, whichever avatar, he had her support to be successful. So Mahavishnu does it. They become Lakshmi and Vishnu for the wedding. She was then worshipped by Brahma. So what's the question? Could her husband bow to his wife's feet? Well, everything, out of respect. Just a question. I want to hear your thoughts. Please leave me a comment. Please share this satsang. There's some people who need to hear these things. Please share them. Depending on you, share. So that people can hear. Could her husband bow to his wife? Get back to me. I'm waiting to hear from you. We have to talk for tomorrow night. Then Brahma came and he worshipped her. Then Shambhu came and he worshipped her. She is worshipped by Vishnu in the Sarod Samudra. Then she was worshipped by Manu, Indra, the Munis, the Rishis, the householders, the Gandharvas, the Gandharva Lok, the entire Lok of people, all the people that lived in the Naga Lok, they came. She was worshipped and great devotion was given by Brahma for 1 fortnight, commencing on the, listen to how the vrat is written, on the bright 8th, from the bright fortnight, from the bright 8th day or the Ashtami in the month of Bhadra, ending on the 8th day in the following fortnight, 14 days away, in the dark half or the Krishna Paksh, in all three worlds, got the blessing of Lakshmi as she shone now. After Brahma had done this vrat, her energies in her different forms, she spread throughout the different regions in the three worlds, and she infested the place with that prosperity and love. She was worshipped by Vishnu with devotion in all three worlds. After this was done on Tuesdays in the month of Paush, Chaitra, Bhadra, Manu worshipped her in Paush Sankranti and was able to overcome certain sickness. Tuesday in the month of Magh is especially potent for her worship, O Narad. The worship of Lakshmi is made prevalent in all three worlds. She is worshipped by Indra and all the devatas, by the devata of Mars, Mangal devata, on a Tuesday. Please remember that. So we have the forms of Lakshmi, we have the day of Lakshmi, we have who worships she first, and we have the big question, could a husband bow to the wife's foot? If it's wrong, why it's wrong? You have to send my message. I'm going to read my messages tonight. I'm looking out for you. If you have a question, of course, please send me the question. Let's continue now. As we move on to the next chapter. Jai Bole Baba Tav Sharanam. Jai Bole Baba Tav Sharanam. Everybody help me sing Home by You. Sing a little bit, man. Sing for your Lakshmi tonight.
Jai Bole Baba Tav Sharanam.
Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tav Sharanam. Jaya Samba Sada Shiva Tava Sharanam. Narayana Priya Sachavara Vaikunta Sini Vaikunta Dhishta Tara Devi Mahalakshmi Snantani Katha Vaibhava Se Devi Pratavim Sindhu Kanaka Pura Kina Stuta Adhav Satam Me Vyaka Tur Mahar Yasi Devi Lakshmi Namo Nama. Jai Bole Baba Tav Sharanam. Jai Bole Baba Tav Sharanam. Jai Bole Baba Tav Sharanam. Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tav Sharanam. Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tav Sharanam. Shri Umapati Mahadeva Ki Jai. Narad Muni now says to Lord Vishnu, O Prabhu, how did the eternal Devi Mahalakshmi, the dweller of Vaikunt, the beloved of your form, the presiding deity of Vaikunt, people like to say Vaikunt belongs to Lord Vishnu. No, boy. Vaikunt is ruled, that entire area is ruled and governed and maintained by the power and prowess of Lakshmi Mata. She allows everything. She oversees everything. How did she come down to the earth? How does she become the daughter of the ocean? And by whom was she praised first? Kindly describe this to me, please. Diwali is the coming back of Lakshmi. She returns to the devatas. She brings back the luster. Where was she? She was in the water. And they churn the water to get her back. Tonight, we get into this. And I want you tonight to make me a promise. Tell me if you will remember this. Diwali is coming. I want to know why you are cleaning your place. Why is this big huff about cleaning? What is the point of lighting your diya? What is the whole point of the effort? Why do you do your puja? Is it wrong if I want to drink the daru, eat the meat on Diwali day? I saw a big fuss about people in a political party that wanted to have a barbecue for Diwali, and they call it Diwali Celebration Barbecue. That was happening in Trinidad. Is that wrong? Is it a desecration? Why is it a desecration? Many people, well, them doing it, we are doing it. Them doing it, we not doing it. So if them want to do that, fine. If you don't know what Diwali is, if you don't know the value of your days, of your deities, of your fasting, of how it is supposed to be done, well then, brother, just now we're going to have a beef fest on Shivratri night. Just now we will have fete in the temple. We'll import all the women to dance on poles and do everything that is ludicrous in your Navratri Yag. If that is fine, if barbecue could be done for Diwali, oh well. If that is what you want, look at where we are heading. Wake up. Tonight I want to just explain so that you would understand why that is so bad. Because yes, there was an outcry from leaders and pundits and ashrams, who knew about it. But for those of you looking on from different parts of the world, if you didn't know, I could put it up later. The political party in a certain district in Trinidad, they advertise it as a fundraising activity. Maybe they did it out of ignorance. That could be a fair statement, because they are not Hindu, most of them, I want to believe. At Diwali with a nice Lakshmi, a Diya is there, barbecue, chicken this and that and da. And we as Hindu people need to stand up and stand fast and say, listen, don't do that. Don't do that. That is the equivalent of saying it's Eid or another religious occasion and we're going to have a different type of meat on the menu and, in a sense, insult the group. Would they take it and just be smiling and forget about it? We have to have a standard in our Dharma. And it is unfortunate when you live in a society where your religion is not treated with any respect, but you is where it starts. It has to start with you. When you stand up and say, listen, this is unacceptable. For all those young people who are quivering about it, how many people stood up and said, you know what, this is wrong? On the Facebook, on the Twitter, on the TikTok. How many people made it a problem? When you allow anything to pass, when you don't protect your Dharma, it will be watered down and diluted. It will be attacked constantly, until there is nothing left. We must fight for our culture and our Dharma. No, I don't mean physical fight, but you have to know it so that you say, you know what, push back. No, you can't do that to mine. I don't do it to yours. I don't attack the sanctity of yours. Don't attack mine in that way. And I demand a proper apology. I demand a proper, to recall it, to redact it. I expect you to handle it properly. You made a mistake, that's fine. I'm raising the alarm. You've made a mistake. Handle it accordingly. Don't do it again. Please pay attention tonight. How did she come upon the earth and what? Who did her worship? How did she end up in the water? I thought she was in heaven with Lord Vishnu. Listen to that. Jai Bole Baba Tav Sharanam, Jai Bole Baba Tav Sharanam, Jai Bole Baba Tav Sharanam, Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tav Sharanam, Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tav Sharanam, Pura Durvasa Yetam Shrapa Brishta Yashita Purana Duraha Bhuvayetam Deva Vansyascha Mathranga. Jai Bole Baba Tav Sharanam, Jai Bole
Baba Tav Sharanam, Jai Bole Baba
Tav Sharanam, Jai Samba Sada Shiva
Tav
Sharanam, Jai Samba Sada Shiva Tav Sharanam. Umapati Mahadeva ki Jai. Narad Muni, in ancient days, when that incarnation of Lord Shiva, we did this in Satsang, I hope you remember it, Durvasa Rishi. He is an incarnation, a small, let's say, Lord Shiva is 100% big Diya, this little Diya. A piece, a portion, a percentage of that big light came out and embodied in the form called Durvasa Rishi. It was Lord Shiva's way of assisting the Leela of Mahavishnu. So Durvasa Rishi is the one who caused Sri Ram to leave the earth. Lakshman definitely. Just to rehash some discourses we've already done in our satsang, in our yagna. He is the one who causes Krishna to have weakness in his ankle. Why does Lord Krishna die by getting that arrow into his foot? Again, because of the Durvasa Rishi. That discourse where he and Rukmini are bathing with the well, what we call fermenti, or when you take gobar and mix it with grass and little thing, and you're going to make patties now, so that people could do hawan and do fire cooking with the gobar. That when it is liquid and you bathe it, he bathed that form. Durvasa wanted a bread. He says, wherever that gobar is, your body will become like adamantium steel. You will be impervious to the weapons that they're using on the battlefield. This is why Krishna could go as the charioteer of Arjuna and not once get hit with a bow, an arrow, sorry. But when Durvasa finishes his blessing, looks down and he saws that the ankle, he sees that the ankle of Krishna is not smeared. And he tells him, your ankles will always be your weakness, dear. If someone attacks you, dear, you will succumb to it. You will not be able to come back from it. You will not be able to heal. You will not be able to stop it. You will not be able to in any way adjust the weapon or the lash. There will be no way for you out of it. And Krishna took that blessing in that way. Here comes another discourse of Durvasa Rishi. In ancient days, Durvasa Rishi's curse caused Indra to be disposed of his kingdom. All the devatas had come to the earth. Lakshmi too, getting angry, quitted the heavens. And out of pain and sorrow, she went quickly to Lord Vishnu. Remember I just said she takes the different forms. Griha Lakshmi, Saubhagya Lakshmi, Adi Lakshmi, Mahalakshmi. And she's splitting herself so that the universe will have that luster, that fortune, the guidance to do all that needs to be done. She has to be there. Otherwise, there is no way you're going to be successful. In Padma Puran, when she is going to get married to Mahavishnu, there is a section there in that discourse where she says, I cannot marry. She's born as a twin, Lakshmi and Al-Lakshmi. And she says to Lord Krishna, if I am to marry Mahanarayan, Mahavishnu, what about my older sister Al-Lakshmi? I'll mention it, I'll read it for you tomorrow night. Al-Lakshmi. And Krishna, who has to be like the father of Lakshmi, to give her to Sri Hari Vishnu, there is another form where he gives to Al-Lakshmi. So when a person loses their Lakshmi, their bharkat, their goodness, the sales and the business drop. The Al-Lakshmi, according to Padma Puran, she comes in where one sister moves, the next sister comes and brings an hardship. In the Mexican culture, there's a belief of a twin sister, angels. They celebrate them in the festival of the dead. One is like the devil, and the other is like the angel, bringing good and good things, blessedness. Likewise, in this example, Lakshmi is the one who is smiling, giving goodness, happiness, long life, etc. And Al-Lakshmi is bringing the opposite to you. She became angry and she runs now. This form is given. She's leaving Indralok. And she's going to Lord Vishnu for guidance. The devatas then went to Brahma. When she went to Lord Vishnu, they run to Brahman. Listening to all their prayer, they then leave there and they go to Vaikuntha. They all take refuge there. And at that time, Lakshmi, the prosperity, the wealth, all that she entertained, she comes down. She leaves the heavens and she comes down to the earth. By the words of Mahavishnu, she becomes the daughter of the ocean, Varun Devta. She goes to live in the water. Lord Vishnu looks at her and her joy knew no bounds. And she's happy to do his bidding, his worship. Understanding what was going to happen, she bowed to him, put a mala around him, and she left. Then, when they became free from Lakshmi, when there is no Lakshmi, trouble comes. Trouble comes, O Narad, trouble comes in the absence of Lakshmi. Narad Muni says, Shiva Om, Hari Om, Shakti Om, Narayanaya, Krishnaya,
Paramatmaya Namo Namah.
Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Katham Shrapa Durvasa Muni Shrestha Kadachan Ki Nado Seva Brahman Brahishta Stitiyatvad Vich Ye Pura Mamatam Yaham Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Shri Lakshmi Mata ki Jai. Narad Muni says, Prabhu, Durvasa Rishi is the best of munis. He is attached to Brahma. He's full of in spiritual knowledge. Why did he curse Indra? What offense caused this whole hullabaloo? What caused Lakshmi to leave? And how did she come back? What happened? Tell me. Sri Hari Vishnu begins to, and you've heard this discourse before. This is the discourse with the Parijat flower. This is the discourse that explains why Ganesh Baba has an elephant head. We've read this. Lord Vishnu says in times past, Indra was upon the earth and he was intoxicated by wine. Was very lustful and shameless. He took off his clothes. And one of the Gandharvas was with him, Ramba, beautiful girl. And they were having relations in the open. At that same time, Durvasa Rishi, that form, that emissary of Lord Shiva, is on his way to Vaikuntha and he's coming from Kailash Parvat with Tej, with the energy flowing around his body. The aura is as if he's on fire because of the amount of power, energy that he's doing. He is brighter than the midday sun. And on that hair, on his matted locks, laid a mala of Parijat flower, the flower that comes. This flower in a previous kalp, in a previous sansar, was there. And he, having done the kamandalu, the tilak of the moon, the half circle on his head, was coming from Yagna by Shiv Baba and was going to by Vishnu Baba. Many disciples, versed in the Vedas, Vedangas, they are coming with him. And the intoxicated Purandara or Indra, he did bow down seeing this person. You know that they say monkey, there's no which tree to jump on. He knew the ferocity of Durvasa Rishi. And out of that fear, not respect really, but fear, there's a difference. Sometimes people in Ramayana, Sita Mata is told that there are different categories of wife. There's a wife that, 4 categories, that sees her husband as God. There's a category that sees, all men as father, son, brother. There's a category of a wife that doesn't do bad, but she doesn't do bad because she didn't get a chance to do bad. And in this instance, this is a person that is being in good behavior because he's afraid. I am like in a discourse where she's being taught the different type of wife and she's being told from a senior mother, you choose which road is yours. Some people behave good, yes, because they're afraid to behave bad. There are those people that are brave and brazen and they will behave bad. In this example, this person is afraid. He knows if he behaves bad, he's going to get shrapped. And when he bowed down to Guruji, Durvasa took off the Parijat mala and draped it around his neck. Muni then and walked away. This mala was given by Mahavishnu himself in the company of the Yagna that Lord Shiva was having. It gives, when you have that flower and you're doing puja with it, old age, death, disease, sorrow, all these are removed by the influence of this flower. Does it grow in Trinidad? Yes. Send me a message if you're interested. Darius has it, don't worry. Devendra or Indra became so intoxicated by his wealth, his position, he looks at it and he says, this is where you give a big man. I am a king of the Devatas, all of them. Look at my body, look at my physique, look at my power. I champion the thunderbolt. And it is because of moments like this we don't do Indra Puja, by the way. And he takes off the mala in that moment without thinking. And he threw it on the elephant that is his chariot. No sooner the elephant touches the flower, he became suddenly awoken. And he leaves that place, forsaking Indra. And he goes into the dense forest. It is that same elephant descendants become the head that Ganesh Baba. This is why we had to use an elephant. This is why we had to use the elephant head for Ganesh Baba. In the Gaja Lakshmi form. This is why we give gifts of elephants. Wherever an elephant is in Hinduism, Lakshmi Mata is there. So when people are building houses, when people are moving in the home Mata place, and they want to bring Lakshmi, you will see them put maybe drawings, paintings, pictures, statues of elephants. Not necessarily Ganesh Baba, but elephants. Little miniature elephants. This is why you see that fixation with the elephant. For many Hindus, let's say in Trinidad, Suriname, we never touched an elephant. But we believe that because the flower is so potent, this gift that was given by Lord Vishnu, and it rests on the head of the elephant, this prosperity, this blessing, this goodness made it the home of the Lakshmi. For this reason, wherever a Lakshmi is, elephant is placed. And I'm saying this for you to listen tonight and for you to go tomorrow and see in your home if you have an elephant. I want to see things look different. Let's get a little elephant. Let's get serious. Let's get a pitié where Lakshmi Mata is sitting and the elephants on his side. And let's pray for change. Let's pray for benefit. Are you sharing this satsang? Have you ever heard this? Go tell me now. Send me a message. Do you have such an elephant in your home? Waiting to hear. That elephant from that moment becomes realized. And for this reason, he didn't stay with this foolish Indra. Durvasa Muni, not too far, saw the dishonor to that great gift that Indra had done and turned around and inflamed with rage, threw water from that kamandal that he had and hit him a shrap. O Indra, you are so mad with wealth that you have dishonored me and dishonored that flower. That flower I gave you so lovingly that you threw it away out of vanity on that elephant's head. No sooner one gets food, water, fruits that you have been offered, that has been offered to Lord Vishnu, one should eat it at once. Otherwise, one will incur the sin of allowing that prasadam to be unclean because it gets spoiled. So when you get prasad, you eat it. If anybody forsakes things that are offered to Lord Vishnu, for example, when you're blessing these things, when you're blessing the Janev, when you're blessing the Kanhawar that you see young Pandits getting when they're ordained, they have been blessed with Vishnu mantras. He has gotten perchance, he has become destitute. He will become destitute of wealth, prosperity, intelligence, and his kingdom. Why? Because he forsakes, he did not accept, he did not wear, he did not eat, he did not bathe. Like the pregnant girl who gets the water with the shaligram, no delay, drink it. And if he eats the food already offered to Vishnu with devotion, he is then able to elevate not only himself, but also his family. Those people who have passed on before him, they become liberated. What is this he's saying? This is the value of when we sit together, when we have Shrad, Nandimuk Shrad, Varshik Shraddh, and the Baba, Guruji is taking out food and everyone taking out food, and Baba says his mantra, and we call on Lord Vishnu to please bless this food, except in the Satnarayan Puja, except this Prasad Prabhu. The person who tastes a morsel of that Prasadam gets the blessing as if then they did the worship with their own hands. So great is Prasad. If anybody daily eats the Naivedya that is offered to Vishnu, Naivedyam is anything that is sweet, clean, and is offered to Lord Vishnu. Bows down before him, worships Hari Vishnu with devotion, chants his hymn. He becomes like Vishnu in energy, light, wealthy, happy, because Lakshmi is with him. By his touch, the air around this individual becomes calm, pleasing. Have you ever been in the company of somebody and it is as if the place is transformed? When somebody comes by your home and the person has this type of persona, when you listen to this person is making a change inside you. Something is happening. I don't know how to describe it, but something is happening. Oh, you stupid person. The earth becomes purified by the contact of the dust of such a devotee of Lord Vishnu. If anyone eats the food that is not offered to Lord Vishnu, if a person eats anything that is not blessed by Mahavishnu, he eats the food of unclean people. He eats the food of people that don't do proper shraddh. The food that is offered to the lingam, it is as if you eat that. The person who is selling their daughter, it is as if you eat from them. The person who is in the business of killing the zygote or the embryo in the womb, those people lead to sin. Therefore, the person who eats from such a person gains sin. If a person who is not initiated in the mantra of the Isht mantra, or what we might call the Guru mantra, and that person, it is as if you're making offering but you don't have that tej, that mantra with you, then that offering is going to be deficient. The person who burns corpse and the ashes is still under the nail or on their body from these burnt bodies. The person who is a rebel against their friend, by eating from them, brings a lot of downfall and Lakshmi leaves. Therefore, these sins that a person could commit, and they are going through problems, they are going through hardship because of the absence of Lakshmi in their life. When they eat the prasad of Vishnu Bhava, these sins, these hardships, they go. If anybody takes unknowingly the remains of the offering, such as flowers made to Mahavishnu, he will certainly be freed from all the sins incurred in 7 past births. This is why we say Vishnu Arpanam, Krishna Arpanam. If he does this knowingly and with intense devotion, he will certainly be freed from all sorts of sin incurred in a myriad, 40 births is what it has here. I am a devotee of Sri Hari Vishnu. And when you had cast that flower, that parijat flower away that was offered to me by Mahavishnu on the head of that elephant, then I say unto you that Mahalakshmi will leave you and she will go back to Lord Vishnu and she will not be your assistant. She will not help you. You will be robbed of your kingdom. You will be robbed of your riches, of your wife, of your family. You will have nothing. I am highly devoted to Lord Vishnu and I do not afraid nobody. Your guru is Brihaspati and I am not afraid of him. Your father is Kashyap Muni and I am not afraid of him, because the power of the parijat flower and because of it being offered to Mahavishnu, making it Mahavishnu Prasadam, you should not do what you have done. Hearing the words of Durvasa, Indra became bewildered and fearful, depressed, and he went down and he bowed to the feet of the Muni. Now he humbled. He says, Prabhu, this curse is going to afflict upon me and all the other people that I lead great amount of hardship. Now, I do not want to lose Raj Lakshmi. Please allow me to get back that form so that when I go to battle, I am prosperous. When I go to talk to my people, I am light. may you please guide me so that I would be able to reunite with Raj Lakshmi. Raj Lakshmi, as I said before, is the form of goodness, prosperity that gives the politician longevity. It gives the king or the queen or whatsoever the ability to rule without opposition. People like them, people love them. O Muni, O Indra, this birth, death, old age, disease, affliction all come from wealth and manipulation of great power. Being blinded on the wealth of the wealth the person does not see the road to mukti or liberation. The stupid man that is intoxicated by wealth is just like the man who is intoxicated by rum or wine. Surrounded by many friends, he is surrounded by unbreakable bond. That man is intoxicated with wealth, blind with property, overwhelmed with these things, has no thought for the real knowledge, and for this reason he is called Rajasic. He is very much addicted to these things, and he will never see the path of Sattvic. The man that is blind with the sensual organs are of two kinds: Rajasic and then Tamasic. He who has no knowledge of Shastras, Tamasic. He who has knowledge of the Shastras and is still blind, Rajasic. In O Devta, there are two parts mentioned in the Shastras. For the person who knows not the Shastras, Pravriti, the one who is going towards all the sense objects, because he sees the gold glitter, because he sees a pretty girl or a handsome boy, he sees the nice food, he wants a speeding car, he wants a big house. Pravriti, the person is guided to use wealth towards those things. When I have money, I will get. Nirvriti, going away from them. There is wealth, and I will use that wealth to be charitable, to help people. I don't want to only buy for myself. I'm going to help other people. Nirvriti, the same wealth that is given could be used for different things. The Jeev that follows the path of Pravriti, meaning you're taking it to buy the gold, buy the car, buy the house, entice the woman, etc. All these things. That part is very painful. And on that road, they mad like a madman, they run on this road of pain. You'll have the girl, she will break your heart. You're going to spend the money, you're going to go for the gambling, lost the money. You're going to buy the house, the wall go crack. Differently, the car will end up in an accident. Everything you buy is not for you, because one day you're going to die and you're going to leave it to somebody else. So, like a mad person, you run down this road and you do things that will really not benefit you, but you tell yourself, I have nice things. And there are some people more lost than others, that they don't understand the true role of this wealth. Wealth is not a bad thing. Wealth is not a bad thing. It's the mind, the human, who gets corrupted by wealth. And when you're on the road for Pravriti, you never have enough. The greed comes. As bees, blind with the desire of getting the honey, go to the lotus bud and get themselves entangled, so the Jeev, the embodied soul, desirous of first getting enjoyment, comes very painful, birth after birth, this worldly life, which is the end, is realized as a vapid and only full of old age, death, sorrow, because one day you have to die and leave all that you bought. You wanted the big house, and then one day you realize, I can't climb this step. You love the nice food, high salt, all the kuchala, all the acid, and then one day you got to leave that too. You can't eat it. Doctor will tell you no salt in your diet. You're a kidney patient, start to leach your food. You're diabetic, take out the sugar. You're a heart patient, take out all the oil and the fat. You can't eat that. That time is done. And you have to learn to give it up now. So you're sorrowful, you're sad, you're grieving every time you see the kuchalani come down. God, you'll not be able to eat nothing. Make it worse if you're talking about KFC. Make it worse if you're talking about alcohol. When the liver is covered in psoriasis and lumps and pustules, and the doctors say, listen to me, on your last, please give up the alcohol so you don't cough blood. The same thing that you so loved and you invested all your money in, it is now going to cause you tears because of that. You have to leave it. The person enchains themselves to these punishments, and one day you have to leave it. For many birds he travels gladly from various rooms that is ordained by his own karma. Because of your karma, you jump in from the frog room, the dog room, womb. We talked about it last night, karma. Until at last, by the favor of the devatas, he comes into contact with the sant or the saints, satsang. And thus, one out of thousands, hundreds of thousands, finds the means. One person, one soul might find the means to cross the sansara. Wealth could be a tool to get you to cross, and wealth could be a tool to trap you more. It depends on your disposition. It depends on your karma. This is why when we do Lakshmi Puja, because we need money, we need to survive. Without the money to buy food or to care for children or to give them what they need, how will you do it? But are you on the praviti or the nirvati route? Do you only study, I can buy this from Amazon, I need to get a bigger car, I need to enhance my body and do plastic surgery so I'll look better and I'll feel better when I do that? Or is it about nirvati? Maybe we buy because we need and not only because we want. And that doesn't mean that I am not going to have nice things, but I'm not going to become a slave state, is the defining point. Because the truth is, we have become so enraptured, and it is more now than before. We have become so tied up in consumerism. Diwali, the other day, the senator made a statement about people not wanting to pay property tax, but they will go and spend wasteful money in the Diwali Nagar. Is it a Hindu tax? Is it an Indian tax? Is that, did I miss that? Why is Diwali Nagar relevant to property tax? If somebody can answer me that, I would really appreciate that. Are we being selected for this tax? Is it some people is going to pay the tax and some people are absolved of it? And what is the big fuss about Diwali Nagar? First time, from my own experience with friends, family, people in the temple, and you know it. For all those people in bluebirds, you know it. First time you see pepper roti. First time you see roti and eddos. First time, what is the money that we just go and spend? Roti, snacks, sweets, eating what our forefathers struggled and strived to maintain till today, that these recipes are there. Is it wrong to eat roti? Is it wrong to want to carry children to see the fireworks that are on display? Because of COVID, we're online. What unfortunate for some kids that they never get to see, be pretty. Is it wrong to celebrate your religion? Or do I live in a country where I'm a second standard? My religion is secondary. There are people who are primary. There are people who are better than or the best. And me, there are still documents in the government service that still ask for your Christian name. But I only have a Hindu name, so I didn't know what to put in that blank. Sorry. Hindus need to stand up because we are on that time. The person, because of their favor, one day, God bless them, they understand the role of wealth. When the saintly persons kindle the lamp of knowledge, and it shows you the way to mukti. Imagine, just to understand the symbolism, I out this diya for a second. And this is the heart and the mind of each person. When you get into the company of the Guru and saintly people, satsang is the company of truthfulness, and discussing truthfulness with a Guru. The Guru's role is to light the match and light this diya. To invigorate you, to push you, to learn. The teacher, that's the role of a teacher. A mother will quarrel, get up and bathe, light the diya. A father will say, in our home we offer Tarpan and Pitrabhaksh to show you, to demonstrate. How does a child learn? A child looks at what mommy and daddy is doing and they emulate that. That is how Bhakti works. Listen to it here. When the saintly persons, when the gurus kindle the light of the lamp of knowledge inside of a person, it shows the way to liberation, to come out of the sansar, birth, death, birth, death, birth, death. Then the Jew has an attempt to sever the bondage of this world, because now you have the knowledge, now it is burning inside of you. You know the mantras, you know Bhakti, you understand the devotion, you understand what is real, what is not real. So you know what? I am working, I have wealth, I am going to get myself involved with some charity, with some type of institution, with some home maybe, and I'm going to help use this wealth that God has given to me to help other people. I know it's a joke when you do it. The little wealth you have starts to grow, because you start to see your business evolve, your house evolves into a happy place because of the presence of Lakshmi. After many births, many austerities, many types of fasting, finally finds himself safely on the way to mukti as he has grown, leading to the highest happiness. Meaning, when you get moksha or liberation, when you merge with Lord Vishnu, then if you gain something, you're not going to die and leave it. You're not going to lose the loved ones. You're not going to cry. If you go now and you find people with COVID and they are on a ventilator and I wish I could get 2 minutes to tell my wife I love you, because you can't see them, they're in the hospital and you can't find them. You have to reach by the guard and just hand the food or the clothes, whatever, and if, thank God for phone with video, you could see them, but other than that, you might never get to kiss them again. Think about that. We don't want to lose and lose, born and lose, no. So when you get mukti, you overcome that. What you have asked, and thus I have heard from Guruji. O Narad, hearing the words of Muni Durvasa, all this was repeated from Durvasa to Indra. Hearing the words of Muni Durvasa, Indra became more dispassionate about, what he was doing, the drinking and the sex and all these things. Day to day, his feelings became more despondent, more depressed. As he's made aware more and more of his wrong deeds, instead of going on in naivety, he went praviti. And now everybody around him is suffering because of his poor choices. One day he went to his own home where his throne is, in the Indralok. And instead of seeing beautiful flowers and animals, it was being destroyed by the daityas. The demons had attacked and usurped his throne, taking everything and doing what they want. At some places, outrage, oppression knew no bounds. Some places had no friend. There were some places where there was no fathers, no mothers, no wife, no relation, no rest, no repose could be found. Seeing heaven in this way, at the hands of the enemy, Indra went to Brihaspati to get guidance. He was praying on the banks of the Mandakini river. And he sees Guruji wet with the water of the Mandakini river, great river in India. And he sat there waiting for Guruji to finish his Gyaan. Tears start to flow from his eyes. And I want you to put yourself in his position. We all make mistakes. We all have done wrong. Some crimes are worse than others, but we've all done wrong. And this person is very aware of that wrong. Tears start to flow from his eyes, his ears is erect. How am I going to tell Guru what I did? Guruji is elder in knowledge, spiritual teacher of all. Religiously, he serves. He's a great Gyani. He's a friend to all. And Brihaspati continued to be merged into his meditation, and Indra sat there for one pahar, patiently for 3 hours. waiting until he could bow to the feet of Guruji. And he was crying out loud, he was bawling. He informed Guru of the curse that was given via Durvasa. Because Amarvati, or the city that he would be in charge of, is overrun by all the demonic force, he told him all that was going on. Brihaspati is now informed. Listen to his words. He says, "O Devatas, O Lord of the Devatas, I have heard everything that you said. Do not cry. Stop. Have patience. The wise politician of good behavior with moral precept never lose their head when there is a crisis. They get themselves de-stressed, normalized, neutral, as it were neutral. Nothing is everlasting. Nothing is forever. Whether property, whether adversity, all these things are transient. You only go through troubles for a period of time. And after all, it is your karma that is causing this trouble. Don't forget that. Pain and happiness are like the ring of a rolling wheel. So what pain is there? It is already stated, karma is the cause of all these things. In this way, my friend, and he lectures to him about karma. The curse of a Brahman comes through karma. The blessings of a Brahman comes through karma again. But karma, one gets wealth and prosperity, and by karma again, one gets garibi or poverty. One may take 100 births to fulfill the fruit of the karma. What the karma has to come. The fruit of that karma follows you like a shadow. Without enjoyment, that could never die. The effects of karma becomes increased or decreased according to the time, place, and the person concerned. If you break the karma, if you experience the karma, of course it will go down. If you add to it, well, the karma will increase. You have more trouble to face now. So we have to engage in good karma. We have to engage in those things that will make a difference, that will bring merit. Gifts that are given on certain days, tapasya that are given or done on certain days, bring great amount of reward, fruits, merit, punyam. When a person gives the different type of prayer, when a person gives the different type of vrat, and you are worshipping Mahavishnu, you get great amount of blessing. Imagine you did it on great days such as the new moon day, such as the Sankranti day, and the amount of punyam is only increasing. Chaturmas, the 4 months of Lord Vishnu, if you do worship then and then you do different type of dhan, charities that are done on the Akshay Tritiya day, the Naumi day, charities that really yield religious merit are higher than those that done on these auspicious days, are higher than those that are done on any day. I think we understand the importance of getting a good day from a prayers on a Puja Baba. When you do this, oh Indra, when you utilize good karma, you will be able to overcome this. Shambhu says, he who remembers Madhusudana, who Indra, another name for Lord Vishnu when he destroys the demon Madhu and his brother Kaita, Madhusudana, in great troubles, his dangers cease, happiness comes. O Narad, the wise Brihaspati advised Indra, embracing him, holding him, and heartily blessed him. Worship. Churn the ocean, and you will be able to regain that Lakshmi that you are looking for. Prem se bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. In this way now, Indra gathers together all the devatas and they go by Brahma. From Brahma they go by Shiva. Shiva Baba tells him, Durvasa gave you flowers when he was leaving my prayer, but you showed it disrespect. That flowers, the Parijat flowers, was offered to the feet of Krishna. And whoever had it is rested upon, Lakshmi gives that person immortal prosperity, unlimited success. And for this reason, the person, this is where it coming from, Slok 5 in book 9. I think I don't understand the Roman numerals. I think I'm in XLI. Everybody understand that? That person who bows to the elephant head, displays the elephant head, remembers the elephant head, will have the Lakshmi. Whether she wants to come to your home or not, she comes wherever there's an elephant. It is a useful tool when we're trying to change the aura of a home. Like when people have to do their house drawing, they would send it for me on a WhatsApp. Baba, could you guide us verse 2 wise? Where is the kitchen supposed to be? Where is the toilet supposed to be? There are rules for these things. What is the first plant we're supposed to put down? Is the land good? Is it supposed to be flat? Is it supposed to be sloping? Is this land good to purchase? Whatever. Those things are in our text, and that is another way I guide people. If you need that help, reach out. Please send me a message. I'll be only willing to help. Who can save that unlucky man against whom fate has turned? Seeing that you have rejected the flowers of Krsna, Lakshmi Devi has left you out of anger. Now you come with me with your family priest Brihaspati to Vaikunt to worship Lakshmi Mata for me to help you. Thus saying, Brahma, Indra and all others, listen to Narayan Muni, Sri Hari Narayan. Oh Narayan Muni, that Mahavishnu has no beginning, no end. The four-armed one who brings into this universe Saraswati. Helpless, they stood there by him, they listened to him, they wanted to hear. And in this humbled way, as Indra is speaking and he's desperate, he wants help, Lord Vishnu says to him, discard all your fear. What fear can overcome you when I am here? I will give you that immovable, prosperous Rajya Lakshmi. I will give her back to you. But for the present, I give you some advice for this moment. My devotee regards me as the highest. They know no other than me, O Indra. They are fearless in that feat. So I remain with them, but I cannot remain in a house, in a place where my devotee is disrespected or dissatisfied. I immediately quit that place with my consort Lakshmi. Durvasa Rishi is born as a part of Shambhu, Shankar Bhagwan. He is highly devoted to me. He is called Pakka Vaishnava. And when you disrespected that flower, what is the link? When you disrespected that flower and he cursed you, I and Lakshmi instantaneously left you and left your house, left your kingdom. Because you cannot disrespect the person who is doing Shaligram Puja, the person who is doing Gayatri Japa or Vishnu Puja. Lakshmi does not reside in a house where conch shells or sunk. When this sunk, which is a representative of the Sudama, the Mahavishnu, his emblem is this. When this is not bellowed at any point in your home, Lakshmi will not be there. So when Diwali day comes, for those of you together with me, and we are trying to bellow the song and discourses like this, to echo the sound waves, we are not together. Especially, let's say you're living abroad. We are not physically together, but the sound energy could still transfer. When I'm on broadcast, on the TV, on the radio, does it bring less blessings? No. Because the sound of the name of God, the sung in this example, could still reverberate where you are. It is not the traditional, but when you have COVID, and there are some people who want to do prayers as normal, gathering in huge groups. Don't wear a mask if you believe. There's one pundit. If you believe in God, Take off your mask when you come in a crowd. And I want to say publicly, those things are mad. You're playing with people's life. Gertbrand says this birth, as we just heard, how many cycles, how much suffering, loss, buy, loss, get through it, lost your wife, lost husband. How much of that you went through to get to this form, and now you're being reckless. Read the last part of Pret Manjali, Gertbrand. He says this body is a gift and it has to be guarded. And for the person who treasures their body, that person is a blessing just to do that. But when you are, don't care, when you are complacent, when you don't care, COVID, so what? I don't believe that it is real. Go to the hospital and see how many people are dying. How many people are suffering. Just now we are out of beds, we are out of oxygen, and there will be a panic. It's coming, we are very close to it. However, people are doing as if it is business as usual. For this reason, I am not advocating, Yagna. I am not advocating business as usual when it cannot be business as usual. That is my opinion. Lakshmi Mata does not live where there is no tulsi tree, in a yard, in a home. Lakshmi Mata does not live in a place where Goddess Parvati and Shambhu Baba are not worshipped. For this reason, when you have puja in your house, just as how you must have your Shaligram, you must have your Shiv Baba. You could be doing Ganesh Puja alone. That praise is incomplete. Remember this. There's one puppet I'm remembering, I won't call no name. He says, Guruji, you are wrong. You don't need Shaligram, you don't need Shiva. We have to finish the prayers in a quick time. How could we worship these people? These forms, we don't need them for the puja. I'm saying it here tonight, please remember it. And you as a Hindu, when you have your puja, make sure, have your lingam, have your Shaligram, or at least a piti of your Satyanarayana. Lord Vishnu has to come in your puja. Imagine what he's saying here. Lakshmi does not come to that house where Shiva and Shiva, Parvati, is not worshipped. Lord Mother Lakshmi does not come or does not stay in a house where the Guru or the Brahman that does the worship, he is not fed. It could be a grapes, it could be a cup of water, sweet water. Like when we now come and you're washing our feet, you're supposed to offer, I'm teaching you something. If it's a cup of juice, not necessarily soft drink, but long time is to make a little juice, something sweet, delectable, and they would give that to the Guru. Please accept something, Guruji, not just plain bland water, but something that has the sugary nectar. Sugar, I'll read this from Agni Puran, sugar is another form of Lakshmi Mata. Sugar is another form of Lakshmi Mata. There's a discourse where she comes as sugar. And this is why when we're doing prayers, whether jaggery, mystery sugar, shakar sugar, kesariya sugar, all these different things, we use it for different benefit. Because when I offer, let's say I'm using mystery sugar, swaha, what it gives back to you is a different form of Lakshmi or a different form of prosperity. I want you to understand that. Because on Diwali day, and the 5 days of the Diwali, those people that are with us, they are going to be engaged in different type of offerings, different type of mantras. Those people that would bring Guruji and do puja but would never offer hospitality, Guruji, please drink some water. Guruji, please have something to eat. You can't eat, it's COVID, carry it when you're going. Guru Mai, go eat something when you reach home. When a person does not do this, then what will happen? Lakshmi Mata abandons that home, and that person who is so greedy that they could not share what little they have, even a fruit, they become very blamed. The first thing you see when you lose your Lakshmi, you start to get accused. Lakshmi becomes greatly displeased with this person, instantly goes away from the house, and when she leaves, a Lakshmi occupies the house, bringing a certain amount of dampness, lack of luster. You start to feel like the place could never get clean, it always looks dirty, a lot of argument. Let's go again. Lakshmi does not stay for a moment in that house where people do stupid things. People do things without consulting doing it on any old day. Any I want to start to drive the car without blessing the car. I'm going to buy the car. I'm not going to check to see if it's a good day. I'm not going to check to see if it's a good day to build the house. I'm just going to do it. Who brings the troubles for the builders looking on? When you climb up and you're trying to weld the roof and it's only electrical shock, people slipping, people getting cut, blood. Who is causing the problem? Lakshmi does not stay for one moment in a house when people who are stupid do these type of things without consulting for the auspicious day or in the auspicious way. Without proper devotion, they are going to engage, start new projects, do new things, and they are going to do it haphazardly. And the Al-Lakshmi that comes will bring about downfall, mayhem, blood loss, life loss, etc. The person who takes food, who is fasting, that is it, because there are people who are not ready yet. Let's say a child is not ready to do the Ekadasi birth or the 11th day in the moon in the fortnight. They are not ready to do it, so this does not apply. But imagine somebody says, I am doing Ekadasi birth, but I hiding and thieving the food. Lakshmi does not remain there. On the Deepavali, on the Janam Ashtami, Ram Navami, on the days of their birth, the person does not fast, the person does not do puja, the person does not do some form of devotion, some form of archana, or doing literal puja. Then this person is going to lose Lakshmi. Anybody who sells their daughter, this person is going to lose Lakshmi. Those people who do not offer anything to guests, people come by a houseboy, if things hard and all you could offer is water, not even bottled water. Remember, it had days we used to drink rainwater. It had days we used to soak water so in my hand and drink. Even if you can afford the cup, afford these people something. A drop of water is great. But when you fail to do that, you're going to find that your house is losing the Lakshmi, and you're going to be downtrodden very quickly. If a person eats in a home, I talked about it last night, in a home where the sapinda is not done. If your pandit is doing Shraddha, there are many people are dying. But understand that pindas have to be offered. But there is a step. Baba, you could tell me about the sapinda. Guruji, you could tell me about sapinda. One day I'll read it for you to have that knowledge. But make sure your purohit, your pandit, is doing this step so that the house is now considered to be clean. You need that to be performed. Please ensure that is done. But if you are eating in a home where the sapinda or what happens usually on the 13th day, that is not done yet. Last night I spoke about people eating in wake, people eating, food when you come to the house for the 10 days. We have satsang going on and we gulping down whatever they have. If you are not family, meaning if somebody dies and it affects you, you become unclean. I can't do puja, that's different. But if you are just the neighbor across the road, no relation, and you eat in such a place, then you're going to lose the Lakshmi. Lakshmi becomes very angry and vacates that premises. If a person, a Brahmana, a person who is twice born, having the Janevu around his chest, goes to an unclean place and does not change the Janevu, then the Lakshmi is going to leave him, the luster. Lakshmi never stays a moment with persons like that. A person should know how to maintain Lakshmi. She fears to drink water in a house where people would abuse the cow, cook things with cow parts, blood, feet, foot, horn. She does not remain there. If a person is unjust or unholy, cruel, envies everything that every other person has, blames everybody except himself, then Lakshmi will vacate that place because of that attitude, that persona. Last night in Gita in chapter 17, I spoke about the austerities of the mind. If you're not fasting here, but you're only fasting with the stomach, are you fasting the best? No. In this way, he continues to describe that if a person sleeps naked, if a person sleeps with their feet wet after having shower, these things cause Al-Lakshmi to come into your home. when a person disregards the worship of the Sandhya hour, when a person does not light the light, representative mother, in their home, if you don't invite Lakshmi to leave, what is the picture I'm trying to paint based on the text? Lakshmi is very easy to feel loss. If you don't maintain certain things, criteria and standards in your home and your life, you could lose her quicker than you think. Falls, damage, sickness, hatred, all these things come about as a result of the lack of Lakshmi in your life, in your home. Lakshmi always remains where there's great gladness, happiness, joy, where the lady in the home is happy. When she is depressed, crying, that home does not have any form of Devi. Where the shank is being blown, when the bells are being rang because of Garud. You know, sometimes when you watch a Baba bell, you have a little Devta on the bell, a little figurine, Garudji sits there. Because of that bell being rung, the Shaligram stone is being worshipped, Tulsi leaves are being used in worship, the Tulsi plant is being aratied, the service and the meditation of Lakshmi is being done. Then Lakshmi remains there. O Indra, listen to the things that bring about what you want. And you are going to get back Lakshmi, but I want you to learn how to keep her with you. Blessed is the person that learns to change so that they would be able to maintain mother with you and she stays with you. This is how you're going to do it. Go now. This is the last slok in our text tonight. Go now and churn the Shiro ocean. She is Sagar ocean. She is living as the daughter of the ocean in the water. And when you churn the water and things start to come out, you return her to the different loks, to the devtas. And in this way, it will bring an end to your suffering. O Dev Rishi Narad, thus saying, the Lord of Kamla Devi went to the inner compartments. And on the other hand, the devtas after a long time reached to the shores of the ocean, together with the demons. They used the golden mountain Sumeru, the churning rod, the Kurma, the Mahavishnu form where he is the tortoise, he is the churning pot where the stick or the mountain twirled. And then Deva Vasuki, this long, huge serpent, was the swizzle, the cord, the churning cord. And they began to churn the ocean using those sticks. As I said, I know I've read this many times, but listen to this conversation that we've talked about, where Lord Vishnu is talking about where mother does not stay. And while churning Dhanvantri, the Devta that is over the first day of Diwali, 2 days before Diwali night is Dhanvantri day. We'll talk more about him. The Amrit, the horse, the different jewels, the different things started to come out. And then the Vishnu prayer, the love of Vishnu. Lakshmi Mata came out, and as she came out, she went to Mahavishnu with her mala in hand, and he garlanded her, and he in turn gave her back a mala, showing that she belonged to him in a different way, accepting him as her eternal bridegroom. Then Brahma, Shiva and all others came, all the devtas came, and they bowed to her. And in that moment, Mother relieved them of the shroud that Mahalakshmi is going to be with them, giving them all their possessions, their ability, their strength, and everything that they are praying for. Prem Samola Lakshmi Mata Ki Jai. Let's draw your hands as we do a couple of verses of this stotra given here, where the devtas were praying to her in that form, where they were bowing to her before we conclude tonight. Parijata tapasvi pushpam chagrahintva chandano shiratam dhyantva devim mahalakshmi pujanam svanaraha dhyanam ja samvedokta yadakta varahe pura haranite dhyanena tani vado vadayami. Shri Lakshmi Mata Ki Jai. He smeared one parijat flower with sandal paste, reciting the meditation, the mantras of Lakshmi Mata, offers it at your feet. So what you do, you take sandal paste, the wood, you grind it, you take the flour and you dip it in that chandan and you offer it onto her feet. Just as Indra did. When a person has lost the luster of Lakshmi Mata, when they do this, they would be able to regain that mother in their life, in their business, in their health. So say the devatas as they were praying to mother. Listening to the words of Sri Bhagwan Vishnu. This teaching, this practice of touching the parijat to the sandalwood, offering it on the feet of Lakshmi, given, this was taught to Brahma by Lord Vishnu. I am now telling you, oh devatas, never forget it. Tonight, Prem Samalo Shri Lakshmi Mata Ki Jai. This is where we are starting. This is my first discourse. This is the Lakshmi Gyaan Yagna. Tonight, as we conclude, as this discourse goes on with only the stotra, tomorrow night we're going into Padma Puran, be viewing. I want you to leave me a message tonight. Did you hear this discourse? Have you ever taken parijat flowers, touched it to the sandal paste or the sandal powder and offered it to mother? Diwali is coming. And I want to know what you are doing to gain the luster of Lakshmi Mata. What are we doing different? There are many people who have their loved ones in the hospital, and we have to do more. Please be safe. Please be careful from me and Mommy Baba. Please be good. Until tomorrow night, be viewing. I expect all of you to share this satsang. Please, I'm asking for help. We're trying to share the reading and the knowledge so that many people can hear it. Leave me your comments. Let me know where in the world you're from, your questions, your thoughts. We are talking about our Sanatan Dharma. Some of the things we believe in, some of the things we practice. And we'll continue tomorrow night. Prem Samroshi Adi Shakti Mata Ki Jai. Everybody please join your hands. Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Together everybody. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Prem Sabalo Shri Adi Shakti Mata Ki Jai. Umapati Mahadeva Ki Jai. Pavana Putra Hanuman Ki Jai. Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Banke Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Jai Jai Sitaram. Satya Sanatan Dharma Ki Jai. Till tomorrow night, everybody, God's blessings. And looking out for your comments. Please share this satsang. If you're watching it on the repeat, still send me a message. If you're watching on YouTube, looking out for you, subscribe to the channel. More satsang to come. God bless you. Have a wonderful night. Until tomorrow, everybody, Sitaram.